I thought I'd make a video today. This is my first in a little bit of a little bit. I have been gone for a little while. I have a new job, and I mentioned that in my last video. And to those of you who very warmly received that video, I appreciate it. I'm not going to do a styling video today. I'm actually going to address a subject that I think a lot of us have to deal with and a lot of us face, and that is feeling a little dissatisfied when it comes to what we can offer in terms of our social media audience and what others can offer. I think that is one of the reasons that I have been a little bit less than motivated lately to create videos and to create just even posting photos on Instagram. I've felt a little bit dissatisfied with what I have to offer. And so I want to address that, not only because I feel like I have kind of made my way through it, but also because I feel like a lot of people are faced with it and a lot of people struggle with it. And I would say that in this vintage community, it's a little bit more, in some ways, I feel like it's even more of a possibility of feeling a little bit insignificant, because there are so many amazing vintage people out there on social media, on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook, who are constantly putting out there these phenomenal professional photos of themselves in these fantastic outfits, professional quality videos, just incredible finds that they have found on through vintage markets or just through thrifting, things that they've put together that are just spectacular and astonishing. Some of them, there's varying degrees of budget. Some of them it feels like they have no constraints. They're shopping constantly putting beautiful new finds on Instagram or on YouTube. And then there's some who feel like they're a little bit more logical when it comes to buying something that may not be able to, that may pair well with other things they already have, and just really making it work. I am going to come to you from a perspective that I know I'm not the only one who has this perspective, but I'm going to come to you as someone who has no clothing budget. None. And when I say no clothing budget, I mean that when I put my money on paper monthly and I pay my bills at the beginning of the month, a la Dave Ramsey, and I look at my monthly budget, there is nothing left over for clothing. It is literally all going to necessities or to my children. I don't have a clothing budget. So therefore, when I see all of these people posting their daily outfits or then posting these beautiful new finds, it's hard not to feel a little bit dissatisfied and not to feel like I don't really have anything to offer. That's why I don't really post vintage outfits much on YouTube anymore, or not on YouTube, but on Instagram anymore, because I feel like I've shared everything I own with you guys. I don't have anything new. I literally buy things once a year when I get my taxes, and that is the only money that I have yearly to spend on clothing. And even then, it's a tiny, minuscule amount. So I am literally coming at you from the perspective of someone who has no clothing budget. And therefore, and of course, being realistic, we know that that means that if something extra comes your way and you can spend money on clothing, then great. But if not, realistically, looking at your monthly budget, there's just no way. And doing that will sometimes be very grounding, because it will help you to see that there's no point in holding yourself up against this bar that has been set by these amazing vintage YouTubers and vintage social media presences, because there is no way that you can compete with that. I have to work with what I have. I can't really bring anything new into the picture. And also that I have to really do what basically the ladies in the 1940s did during wartime efforts, where you make rationed clothing, or you make your existing wardrobe work for you. You change it up the best you can, and then you just really work on your above the shoulders, persona, and really work on making yourself feel satisfied by just looking at the mirror and saying, no, this isn't new. No, this isn't something that I just scored, but it's what I have and it looks fine. No matter what, you've got the budget to make your hair look great. No matter what, you've got the budget probably to at least have some form of makeup on your face, because you can usually get that for, pennies. And in my case, I have had a lot of things gifted to me from friends who have a little bit more of a collection. Maybe it's something that they haven't used, or maybe they had the funds to actually get me a gift with that in mind. And a lot of my vintage wardrobe was given to me. I have very little that I purchased myself. Now, I did have a little bit more of a clothing allowance back years ago. You guys have seen my In the Dressing Room series. A lot of times that was stuff that was gifted to me by those companies for me to review. My viewership has fallen way off, and I don't even feel comfortable reaching out to those companies anymore because honestly, I don't get the views that I feel like would make it worth their while. But a lot of the clothing that you've seen on my channel has been clothing that was given to me by a company or by a friend. Now, a lot of people would say, well, you could take your tax money and you could spread it out over the year and you could buy more, you know, over the course of the year. Well, that seems logical, but when you have only one option for extra money throughout the year, it usually is spent before it even gets here, you know, with repairs and, you know, tires and things like that. So speaking realistically and speaking from a very, very, limited budget, I can honestly say that if you do feel the way that I have been feeling, where you feel like you don't really have a lot to offer, whether it's in terms of your daily style or whether it's in terms of something to offer to others through social media, I can feel for you. I wanted to get that out there because I have kind of come to terms with it over the last few months. I've kind of decided that I would move forward with hair and makeup in mind. Occasionally you will see something. If I put together an outfit that I'm proud of, I will post it, but I'm not going to go into this channel with fashion being a goal. Like, for those of us who are on such a tight budget that we cannot really even think of ourselves in that respect, I think it's a good thing for there to be somebody out here who can speak to that and can say, no, you may not even have $20 extra this week, but you've got your makeup, you've got your pin curl clips that you've had for years, and you can do something new and different with your hair. With something, you know, you can do something new and different with your makeup. You can try a double winged liner. You can try a different brow. There are so many things probably that you own that will make you feel a lot better about the limitations that you have. Things that you can use in new and different and exciting ways. But I want everyone out there who does feel that sense of dissatisfaction, I want all of you to really, really regroup and think about what's important, that you have a roof over your head, that you have your basic necessities, and to keep your eyes as simple as possible, because when you don't, I have a wish list. I'm going to just go ahead and interrupt myself for a second and say I have a wish list. I have a wish list a mile long of things that I would love to add to my wardrobe, staple pieces that I would love to add to my wardrobe. And usually they're inspired, that wish list is inspired by people I have seen on Instagram or YouTube. But realistically, I know I'm not going to hit everything on that wish list. And it could be years before I do, or I never. And having the wish list there does kind of give me some focus if something happens and does come my way. But I by no means allow it to hold me back. But I also just try to think in terms of what fits me now, what fits me well now. And if I have to rewear things over and over and over, I'm going to do it in a way that will make you not realize it's the same thing. So if those of you out there who are struggling with this same issue would like to see videos where we can kind of maybe take one skirt and reinvent it in a bunch of different ways, I will be happy to try that. I will be happy to try my hand at it. Again, I don't feel like I have anything much new to offer because most of you have seen all of my clothing. But I will just try to put it out there as sort of an inspirational type project to help those of you who struggle with that feeling of dissatisfaction, that feeling that I can't possibly dress vintage because I don't have the budget for it. I would have to buy everything new. I guarantee you, you won't. There are things in your closet that will work for vintage look and that will work with vintage hair and makeup without your having to go and buy anything new. I guarantee you, you probably have a tailored blouse, a tailored pair of pants. You've probably got a pencil skirt that you've had for years. A pencil skirt and a t-shirt with pumps is adorable. there's a lot of things that you can do that will really help you sort of be motivated to stay with your vintage style, but without feeling that discouragement that you can't go out and get that new pinup girl clothing dress or that new stop staring dress or that gorgeous vintage piece that is on Etsy right now. So yeah, that's all I want to say about that. This was a little bit talky. I'll probably edit it down a little bit because I want it to be very focused and very concise. Your clothing that you have now is good enough. Make it work for you. Make it work with your hair and your makeup. Make it work with your, you know, whatever shoes you have. Keep them clean, keep them neat, wear them over and over and over again. Don't allow social media to bring you down to the point that you don't put any effort in. That's my point. That's my main goal with this video. And hopefully it comes across. But yeah, I'm not done. I'm going to continue making videos. I was a little bit sidetracked there for a little while, but I also have a list of things that I would like to do. That's all. And I'm going to take you on a little tour of my closet so you can see I have a lot of stuff. A lot of it doesn't fit. And I'll kind of show you the way I have it arranged and the way I have it organized. Just because I think that's always something that is helpful, you know, just for yourself. But also, there's a lot of things I'm probably going to purge, you know, and you'll maybe see me go through my closet and be like, oh God, I don't need this anymore. This is a piece of crap. But I tend to be one of those people that holds on to things for dear life. Makes no sense at all. But I do tend to be one of those people that just kind of holds on to things. And I don't want to be that person. I need to just let it go. But yeah, that's all. And I will talk to you soon. I will come back next week with a styling video, I promise. Bye. Okay, so this is my very small walk-in closet. It is a very damp environment in this house because part of it is built into the side of a hill. So I always have a dehumidifier in here, and this is one of those rechargeable ones. It works pretty well, but I still need to have damp rid bags in my hanging back there, which is actually where I house all of my best clothing. And then I also have one over here on this side of the closet. And I even have a damp, like a damp rid canister on the floor down here. But this is my shoes that I wear just every day, my work shoes. This pair is the only new pair that I have. I don't know if you can see them. It's kind of dark in here. But these are Skechers, and they are the most amazing walking shoes ever. So I use them at my new job because I basically just wear jeans and a t-shirt to work because I'm always, always busy. These are my shoes, my good shoes that I try to keep nice. And yeah, it seems like there's a lot, but again, none of these are new. I've had all of these for at least, probably most of them for 5 years or more. Some of them are these shoes, which are very dirty. These sandals are Payless. I got them for $10, and then I got this pair for $10. This is a pair of Payless sandals. I got these to wear to the boogie last year, just to have something comfortable to wear, and they have actually been great. I wear them all the time. But most of y'all know these. I've had these for years. These are my Bass out of Oxfords. My Bait boots, which you can't really see. Sorry about the lighting. I have a very dim lighting. All of my best items, my whirling turbans, and my most prized vintage items are in this bag here. And I keep it unzipped some of the time and zipped some of the time because I want to make sure that I keep it as close to the dehumidifier as possible. Most of this stuff is a little outside my size range right now. I also have my Lady K Loves denim and my Freddy's of Pinewood denim up here on the top. I do wear the Freddy's to work sometimes, but because they have no stretch, they're not quite comfortable enough for my current job. So I do have like some stretchy, like just plain old Levi's that I wear most of the time, the dark denim ones. I keep my petticoats up there, and items that I need to have either mended or fixed or dry cleaned. I keep those up there. And then I have a pile of tops here. I probably wear only about half of these. None of these are new. They're all from within, like, they're probably from 5 years ago. But as you can see, there's a few of them. So I can actually mix and match these with any basic bottoms and completely change an outfit. All these black items are things that I used to wear when I worked for Clinique just about a month ago. So I probably need to weed through all of this stuff and see what I want to keep. Most of it is not stuff I would wear on a daily basis. These are the bottoms, these are the tops, and this was stuff I just swapped out every day because I wore a lab coat. So I didn't need to have anything specific. But I keep jackets and sweaters on this side. My raincoat. My favorite coat is from ModCloth. This coat is from ModCloth. I did buy this 2 years ago, and I really love it. I've only worn it a handful of times. It's hardly ever warm enough or cold enough here. But I have sweaters and tops, blouses on this side, and then I have skirts. Some of these are vintage. You've seen this probably a million times. A few of these are prized possessions, and some of them are things that I don't even know why they're still in here. This is one of the skirts I got from Unique Vintage last year. I really love it. This is a vintage skirt I have literally had for about 8 years now. Love it so much. This is one of my prized possessions. This is the Western shirt that Riley Reid made me. A few vintage skirts. Most of my circle skirts are my favorite things, and I try to wear them as often as I can, but again, like, nothing new in here. So basically it's just finding ways to make all of these items work. A couple of my patio skirts. But finding ways to make making these items work with different tops is the key, because it's what makes things look fresh and makes things look a little newer. This is one of the pieces I got last year from Unique Vintage. It's a plaid, like, pencil dress, kind of Joan from Mad Men style. This is one of my favorite vintage dresses. I think it's a little bit small for me, but this was gifted me. This was also gifted me. It is old, probably got it in 2010. This you probably remember from my retrospect shoot that I did a few years ago. This is still one of my favorite pieces, and I do love retrospect. I bought a retrospect dress pretty much every year until this year. I would just buy one on their sale section every year, and that's my favorite to wear. But dresses on this side, skirts on this side, and then tops on this side, and then all my prized vintage possessions, all of my whirling turbans and things are in here in this bag. So that's pretty much it, and that kind of lets you know the way I have everything laid out, and the way that I try to keep things fresh. I really need to go through here and give these clothes some space because they need to breathe, especially in this damp environment. But one of the things I will always do is just sort of grab a top and then pick a bottom to go with it. So like that leopard top up there goes with black pants, so I will just like grab that top and then some black pants from over here. Or if the next thing that I come to in my closet is this skirt, then I'll wear this skirt with a top and just try to rotate and not wear the same top every time. So it just kind of keeps things organized, and it keeps you from feeling like you have nothing to wear. Obviously, I'm not somebody who has nothing to wear. That's not the case, even though a lot of this doesn't really fit me right now. It's really just a matter of being satisfied with what I have, and realizing that my not being able to add to this does not mean that I am at a loss. I still have a lot to work with, and when I actually look at it this way on the camera, I realize there's a whole lot here. So I can focus on what I have and not be too worried about whether or not I have a shopping budget. So that's that.